In February in particular, the nation was shocked by reports of a horrific sexual assault of a toddler in Tennant Creek. Following that incident, the Northern Territory Children's Commissioner released an own initiative investigation report, and an overhaul of child protection services is now underway. In a moment, we're actually going to meet the mother of the child at the centre of this story. It's an exclusive for The Point, the first time she's ever spoken out. But first, Madeline Hayman-Reber takes a look back at this terrible event and its aftermath.
It was the story that sent shockwaves through the nation and led to a media storm, which included the now infamous Sunrise segment.
Should white families be allowed to adopt at-risk Aboriginal children?
A Northern Territory 2-year-old raped while her mother slept in Tennant Creek.
I think that there were many opportunities over many years to intervene, and I think there were other children there that were left in vulnerable positions. They were at risk, and I think that we failed this particular baby.
In an own initiative report released by the Northern Territory Children's Commissioner, it was found that before the incident, the family had 35 recorded incidents of domestic violence. There was also 8 aggravated assault convictions against one parent, more than 150 recorded interactions with police, and 52 child protection notifications involving all the children with allegations of neglect and physical and sexual abuse.
The risk factors around young people being vulnerable is poor parenting and lack of education. And if this family is a case in point, then they had both. So they weren't attending school, and the parenting was definitely lacking. I think there's a balance to be made here. Certainly we need to support parents, but there comes a time where we have to make that hard decision. If the parents are making decisions that aren't in the best interest of their children, then the children need to be removed.
The incident and subsequent report saw all 14 recommendations accepted and triggered an overhaul of Northern Territory child protection. And Northern Territory Families Minister Dale Wakefield has admitted these changes could lead to more kids being removed.
Those things applied may lead to children being removed, but the focus of this agency is, and since I've been Minister, I have been absolutely clear with the executive team that the focus must be on the safety of our children, because ultimately this case is completely tragic. We know that we have to do better, and we will be working to making sure that we are focused on the best interests of Territory children.
Understandable, this story has been widely reported, and many people have expressed opinions about the family, the town and the child welfare protection laws in the Northern Territory. Inevitably, much scrutiny and criticism has been directed against the mother of the child.
Until now, the mother hasn't spoken publicly, even though she feels that she's been unfairly treated, with allegations that she's an alcoholic and a neglectful mother. Tonight, the mother, who we're going to call Rose for legal reasons, breaks her silence in an exclusive interview with The Point's Madeline Hayman-Reber.
Earlier this year, the Children's Commissioner of the Northern Territory released an own initiative report into the sexual assault of a 2-year-old girl at Tennant Creek. In making the report, they say they spoke to everyone.
Did you speak to the family or the community as well as, the main organisations like the police and stuff?
Yeah, we spoke to every service that had interacted with this family. We also spoke to a large number of people who had either interacted with the family or had witnessed certain things to do with this particular family.
Well, everyone except the family. Now Mother Rose is speaking out. She told NITV that she doesn't believe some things being reported in the media are accurate. And there are some things she wants Australia to know.
Just don't go talking about my life and putting my picture up, painting me as a bad mother. I'm not a bad mother, I'm a good mother. I worry about my children and their safety, and I love and care about them. So if you want to talk about me, you don't even know me. So just don't even think about that, talking about me.
The Commissioner's report said that Rose's older children would often stay with her family members because she was often intoxicated. But Rose refutes this claim and says her children stayed with family because she had to wait 9 years for housing.
Me and my children were homeless, and my side, I thought it was better for my children to stay with my family so I can wait for my house in Tennant Creek. If not, they will get me off the list and give the house to other person.
Rose also says she is not the alcoholic she has been made out to be. And her house in Tennant Creek was not a party house.
The media's blaming, putting my face up saying that I'm an alcoholic, but I'm not. I'm a social drinker. I look after my children and my family. The media said my house was a party house, but it wasn't. We didn't drink that much. It's just that some people come past and come and sit down with the alcohol in my yard because they wasn't allowed to go and drink outside of town.
Alcohol restrictions in communities such as Tennant Creek came into place in 2007 under the Howard government. Also known as the Intervention, the Northern Territory National Emergency Response was called after reports of rampant child sex abuse and domestic violence. But as someone with lived experience, Rose sees the alcohol restrictions as more of a problem than a solution, and says things could have been different for her family if they didn't exist.
The intervention came. That's when they loaded up houses, townhouses with alcoholics. They can't drink out of town because it's restricted, and they have to have address and ID to get alcohol and drink at a house. This could have been avoided if people were allowed to drink everywhere out of town.
Since the incident, Rose has begun to try and make a new life for herself, her daughter and other young child in Adelaide. But not long after she arrived, Rose says they were taken away from her for a breach of a curfew put in place by the South Australian Department of Child Protection.
It's not fair. My kid come with a trauma from Northern Territory. They come to South Australia, they get more trauma. But I just hope they come back to me soon.
Rose says she doesn't know who her children are with or if they're okay. And after her own personal trauma of Tennant Creek, it has greatly impacted her.
I'm worried about my kids. I don't know who they would. And I just feel hurt. I hurt every day. I know my other children, they're okay because they're with my family.
What do you worry about the most about them not being here?
I don't know what's happening to them. And I'm just worried every day.
Throughout her journey, she's had the support of one woman who has been by her side through it all. Rachel Schmerl from the National Indigenous Critical Response.
I'm unable to make comment about things that have happened in the past. However, the work that I've done with Rose just shows that, you know, through all of this, she is still fighting through those challenges and has the strength, and the support that I have been able to give her has been just being there with her while she goes through and, you know, discuss what's best for her and moving forward.
She helps me out, she talks to me, she cries with me.
Rose hopes that she can soon have her children home so she can move on with her life.
I feel lost and lonely, a broken heart. I'll take them to the beach. I'll take them to the museum. I'll even take them to playgroups and find myself something to do, training. But it'll be much better if I have my kids back.
Rose has asked that the media respectfully not use photographs of her daughter, manipulated or otherwise.